special broadcast edition of the Alex Jones Show live on this Saturday, 12th June 2011, live at the Bilderberg Hotel, the Souvretta, up on the mountain in Stanmarit, Switzerland. We got the protest scheduled to kick off almost imminently. We got a ton of information coming up, special guests, all of the info warriors, the We Are Changers here on the scene. It's another rainy day in Switzerland, but the spirits are high as the protest kicks into high gear. Of course, this is a special broadcast of the Alex Jones Show. We're going to go for about an hour, and then we'll be back later on for a second installment later on in the day. So we're at Bilderberg 2011. We're just 100 yards down the road from the Bilderberg Hotel, at which the war criminals and the global elite are meeting today. Of course, massive developments. Last night we had the Swiss politician there in the biggest party in Switzerland, the Swiss People's Party, Dominic Bettig, give a speech and then march down to the Bilderberg Hotel itself and confront the police on the fact that they're protecting people who are committing treason, including supposed representatives of the Swiss people themselves. So Bettig basically confronted the police. He had a conversation with them, and they wouldn't let him in. There was talk that he was going to come back this morning, but that wasn't the case. So now we're joined with the protesters for this resistance movement against Bilderberg as the excitement mounts. And we're going to hand over to Aaron Dykes to get some of the latest news and intel on the Bilderberg group. Here's Aaron Dykes.
Thank you, Paul. So you just mentioned Dominic Bettig trying to walk in. Of course, Jim Tucker on the first day also officially tried to gain entrance, and he reported that they, as routinely as in the past years, said, "No, Mr. Tucker, you can't come in." They know him by name every year at the conference, no matter where it is in the world. Securities are always well informed about Jim Tucker's movements, but it's a very healthy sign that we now have members of the Swiss legislature coming and trying to enter. Excuse me. And that's partially in response to the fact that an Italian EU Parliament member named Mario Borghese also tried to enter into the facility of Bilderberg about a day and a half ago. And he was not only refused entry, he was pushed down, and his nose was blood, reportedly. So just absolutely ridiculous police brutality committed against a member of the EU Parliament who simply tried to gain entry into the Souvretta Hotel, the site of the Bilderberg meeting. Really just a brazen move of the Bilderberg police state that's surely going to work against them. And Dominic Bettig, in addition to trying to get an entry into the hotel, says he will be looking into the reasons behind that police brutality and trying to get some answers or even an official apology. Dominic Bettig has also, prior to the meeting, written a letter calling for Henry Kissinger's arrest, saying that he shouldn't be allowed into the country. There is a warrant for Henry Kissinger's arrest in several countries, including France. And many of these countries also have agreements, of course, to transport criminals, extradite, I guess you would call it. So Henry Kissinger may have had to sneak into this meeting quite covertly, and he may make a surprise exit. Other developments that have happened over the past few days are not directly Bilderberg related, but again related to U.S. politics, and that is simply, just to recap, the fact that Texas Governor Rick Perry, a 2007 Bilderberg attendee, who's been pre-vetted for the presidency, may in fact be running. He's floating that decision right now. And the other item, that Hillary Clinton, quote, wants the World Bank position. The World Bank position is quite notoriously always held by a Bilderberg member. The past several heads of the World Bank have included, have included Paul Wolfowitz, James Wolfenson, and also Robert Zoellick. Also, we reported on the first day of Bilderberg that one of the major decisions going on inside the hotel during the conference here will be the replacement to Dominique Strauss-Kahn at the IMF. So both of those international bank organizations created under the Bretton Woods Agreement before the end of the World War II will both be updated, and those decisions will be made here inside the meeting. We've actually heard two different names floated in regards to the IMF presidency, and one is a Mexican official. Paul, do you have his name handy? It's on record. We'll have to get back with you on that. And another is, who was the other person they floated for the IMF? I believe it was someone else also from France, a woman, with Christine Lagarde. Yeah. Then, in other news, we've been able to stake out the hotel from multiple angles. And yesterday we filmed a helicopter taking off around midday, and there's some high-quality photos of the aides who handled Doris Lothar. We believe she took off in a helicopter shortly before Dominique Bettig, both of them Swiss officials. Before Dominique Bettig came to ask questions, Doris Lothar may have left in a helicopter before she could be confronted on breaking the Swiss versions of the Logan Act, committing treason against our country by meeting secretly with the Bilderberg meetings. And she is reportedly meeting over the agenda to end nuclear power here in Switzerland by the year 2034. Germany has also decided to discontinue their atomic power, and we have just found out today from our inside sources with Jim Tucker that Angela Merkel is here at the meeting, but she's not been on the list, possibly for the same reasons, that she doesn't want to be identified. Other names we've learned from our sources that were not on the official list, which of course we leaked yesterday and put on Infowars.com, which was also carried by DrudgeReport.com, include Bill Gates, who we tentatively identified on the first day, but were not able to confirm until today. But in fact, Jim Tucker and other inside Bilderberg sources had confirmed that Bill Gates, head of Microsoft, and of course the very conspiratorial Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is here at the Bilderberg meeting in 2011. There's another Gates here, and this may be an even bigger story and another count of treason, and that is outgoing Secretary of Defense Robert Gates. But of course, he's still holding that position. But according to Tucker and other inside sources, he is here inside the Bilderberg meeting, but not on the official list. The reason for that is quite clear, because the Logan Act specifically forbids official U.S. Personnel from meeting in secret with foreign dignitaries, foreign officials, and he could be fined and should also be punished for committing that act. But of course, he's very close to the Brzezinski circles as well as the Bush circles, so he is a top globalist. And although he is rotating out of that position soon. Another name on the list is Jose Luis Zapatero, who is the head of Spain, the Spanish prime minister, that is. And he, too, is inside the meeting, but not on the official list, quite possibly for similar reasons. One more name not on the list we were able to confirm through photographic evidence, which we also captured on the first day, is Andres Rasmussen. Rasmussen is the head of NATO. He's an international official, obviously looking to escalate the war in Libya and simultaneously seeking to give it some legitimacy. So incredible updates today. And Paul, I don't want to tease the audience, but we have some even more incredible info. And I'm not joking about that. We've got some really incredible inside sources, some really bombshell, just dark information, and we're waiting on one of our sources to get back to us with an update, but we will surely be dropping that information coming up shortly here in this special broadcast live on Saturday, June 11th. Right now I'm going to hand the phone back to Paul Joseph Watson.
We're here live at the Bilderberg 2011 protest in San Moritz, just outside the Sabressa Hotel, where the global elite are meeting. Of course, they're going to go home tomorrow. We're going to be catching all the video and the photographs as they leave, hopefully getting some more snapshots. Like Aaron was talking about earlier, we went up on a different location behind the hotel, and we were actually able to walk into the field, onto the hill, which sits directly level with the hotel. You get a really close vantage point from this position. And basically we saw what turned out to be a Swiss military helicopter preparing to take off, which is obviously key because that helicopter is paid for by Swiss taxpayers, which of course brings into under the the spotlight, this whole issue regarding this Doris Lautard, because she's the Swiss federal government official. It was announced in the newspaper days ago that she would be attending Bilderberg, and from a zoom lens snapshot that we later received, there's an image of Doris Lautard leaving yesterday afternoon, and she is accompanied by an aide who we also separately captured on photograph right before this helicopter took off and flew over the mountains, which all points to the fact that Lautard carefully timed her departure to take place before the arrival of the Swiss People's Party politician Dominique Beitig, because of course he has identified Lautard as being one of the treasonous individuals that has broken Swiss laws to attend this meeting and speak with representatives of foreign countries. Now, we were talking to the aide of Dominique Beitig last night at the event, which many of you will have seen on Justin TV, and he gave us the actual Swiss laws, which are the equivalent to the Logan Act in the United States. Of course, the Logan Act states that no U.S. politician in a position of power can meet privately, secretly with foreign officials, and in fact, Hillary Clinton was fined for doing so. But under the Swiss laws, which are all contained on the website admin.ch, basically they're the direct equivalent to the Logan Act. So the fact that Lautard attended, that the military helicopter that flew her out was paid for by Swiss taxpayers, directly implicates her in treason, and we've talked to numerous individuals that are now actively pursuing a legal case, certainly against her and maybe other Bilderberg members. But you've got to forgive us today for being a little bit dingy, because we were literally up until 5 a.m., and for very good reason. Of course, you know that Jim Tucker routinely gets the most bombshell inside information from basically just talking to people who are staff at the hotel who have had access to the Bilderberg group in positions such as, you know, waiters, bartenders, people like that. But what Aaron mentioned earlier is literally probably the biggest story to come out of Bilderberg this year. Aaron, you introduce it, and then I'll add some further details.
Well, again, Paul, we were at one of the hotel's bars. I won't name the hotel for the protection of all of us, as this story is still breaking, and who knows who it's going to anger. But we did contact a source who is very closely, very intimately connected with one or more of these Bilderberg members. Paul, are you ready to break this story, or are we waiting on our source to get back to us? Well, Paul, I want you to hit this, because I don't want to screw up the details here, because it's very bombshell information, obviously.
Yeah, we've got to tread very, very carefully on this, because it's not even fleshed out. Obviously, this is not confirmed, but basically after the march last night, it was about midnight before Dominique Beitig actually did the confrontation with the police here. So we jumped into the car to head back to the hotel at about midnight, and then went into the bar, obviously, for a quick drink. Now, that turned into basically a 4 or 5 hour marathon of trying to tease some information out of this individual. Now, let me preface this with the article that you may remember from the New York Post, but back in 2004, which was something like prostitute service moguls at Bohemian Grove. And of course, we know that they like to butt in male prostitutes at Bohemian Grove to satisfy their assorted deviant pleasures. And back to what happened last night in relation to this. Basically, we got talking to the bar staff there, and it turned out that one of them told us he had a very important job to attend at 9:30 the next morning. And it soon became apparent that that job was providing a certain kind of service to members of the global elite. The venue he named was actually very close to the Suvretta Hotel, just up the mountain. And we were gradually trying to tease this information out of him, because he was very, very reticent to give us any direct details. But of course, how we work these people is to, you know, give them another drink one after the other, which is why we were there until 5 a.m. And basically, although we're waiting to confirm this, and we're going to talk with Alex from Info Creek, because he's got more information on it, it appears as if this individual was preparing to fly out at 9:30 this morning to a location near the Bilderberg Hotel to provide a certain service to Bilderberg members that goes beyond serving them food and drink.